Killer Mike.
Yes.
Welcome to London.
Man, thank you. It's always good to be back.
That was one hell of a show.
Hey! Let's go! Come on, Missy, y'all move it. Put your hands in the air. Hey!
Thank you.
How you feeling?
I feel like I just went to church and I liked all the music they played.
It was like being in church, man, honestly. It was a spiritual experience.
It truly is. I appreciate this town for its love of soul and funk and gospel, and I truly had an experience up there tonight. I felt energy flowing through.
Killer Mike!
How's your time been in London so far?
I love London. I've been coming here now, I think about 12, 13 years, and it's always been good to me. And you know, just throughout the UK, I've been welcomed, and it's just good to be with people who really love music. My mom, I grew up listening to whatever she was listening to. A lot of that equaled Wham, George Michael, Sting. I mean, it equaled Sade, who was still my top 2 artists of all time. So I've had a deep connection with you guys for a long time. I'm happy to be here with you.
What are the things you like to do while you're over here? Is there food or experiences, anything like that?
Well, I grew up eating a London-style breakfast with my grandpa. So I used to think we ate beans for breakfast just because we were Southern and working class. And what I understood was that it's a working class breakfast and it comes from this side of the pond to there. So when I came here the first time coming here, getting off the plane, seeing that advertising when I got to the hotel, I'm like, I gotta try this. And we ate the exact same thing, a couple different meats, beans, the blood pudding, or what you call, blood pudding. We had all that. So it just felt like being back at home. And then, to be honest with you, I've just met some incredible people here. My man Ill Will, my man Aaron, who used to work at Mitchell & Ness, who's in the building, who's like family to me. So I just, I love the city. I love the vibes. I love the surrounding areas. I'm gonna keep coming here, till the career's over.
Hey, brother, and any man born to mothers, just know that your days are numbered and life might be filled with trouble. Your trouble might come in was informer, your former lovers that use your kids for revenge because you love them but never loved them.
Do you remember the moment that you decided you wanted to go into a project like this?
Yeah, as an artist, you never stop working. I don't do production. I rap, I rap and I doodle. No one's coming to the gallery to buy my doodle, so I try to stay in a constant state of rapping. Cuz Lightyear, who A&R'd this project, he said, man, let's just get to work on your project. I had seen COVID start killing people, and then you get in your 40s, people start dying. You're like, you're 20, don't remember these people die? It was like, oh, if I die, I want people to have met Michael. I don't want people to have only known Killer Mike, which is an amazing MC. But Killer Mike is an invention of like a 9-year-old kid who wanted to be an MC. And Michael is the human being that has lived a life experience for that MC to have things to rap about. And we spent 2.5 years making Michael.
You kick it like the benefactor's benefactor. Well, truthfully, we know you never been a factor. Well, honestly, the truth is that you've been an actor. And now your actions got them boys about to master.
I know this project took 2.5 years or so coming together.
Yeah.
What were the first couple of tracks where you thought, we've got something going here?
Well, me and my A&R, Cuz Lightyear, actually were working on just some mixtape stuff. We just wanted to, we got downtime. Him and his girlfriend had just had Bricks, who was my godson, and he was like, I need to get out the house and work. I was like, I need to get out the house and work. So we started working third shift. We worked 10 at night to 4 or 5 in the morning. We worked like we were working at a factory job. We went in, we took the weekends off. And one of the first records that we was like, we got to complete is a record of freestyle called Down by Law, which I had started during Obama's presidency. And as he was coming to the end of his presidency, I wanted him to do things like free Mutulu Shakur. I wanted him to take the $1 million bounty off of Sada Shakur's head. I wanted my community to be acknowledged. I wanted black folks to understand that we should, and I'm talking directly to the black people around me. I'm not talking globally. I'm literally talking specific to Atlanta, that we should be de-escalating drugs and pushing ourselves to be better. And that freestyle was kind of like, wow, this is the energy of an intro for an album. And we finished it. And then we finished the next song and the next song. Before you know it, we had 39 songs. And then we were like, damn, we got to make this a record. And we trimmed it down to about 18 or so. We had an amazing mixtape, I think one of the best ever. And then I remembered that I have an amazing friend named No ID who had mentored Kanye West. He had been the first producer of Common, or better known as Common Sense. He had produced for everybody from Little Bow Wow to Jay-Z. And he happened to be a musical savant and genius. And I called him and said, how'd you feel about, executive producing and doing this record? And he was like, I've been waiting on you to call. Y'all give it up for the Mighty Midnight Revenge.
What was the moment when you knew you had the album, when you knew that the record was done? Was there a specific point where you were like...
Motherless was the last record recorded.
Wow.
And
wow.
And it was, I thought I had the album done. I was like, shit, man, this is wrong. I just better than everybody anywhere all the time, you know. And then I remember Dion saying to me, what are you really afraid of? And I was like, I already faced my greatest fears. My mother and my grandmother are gone, they did. And he said, well, that's what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
And he brought the beat in. I tried the front at first, cause it was a different version of the sample. I was like, nah, cause I didn't wanna, I had never said my mother's dead. I'd never truly acknowledged it. I'd say she left, she passed on, she went with ancestors, but I never finally said, she's gone. And he switched up the beat right there in the studio. Erin is in there. She starts working out a hook and singing, and I go in there, and the first words out of my mouth was, my mama's dead. My mama's dead. And tears start flowing, and about a verse and a half later, I couldn't go on, but I knew we had a song. Me and Cuz flew back to Atlanta, and we actually finished the second verse in Stankonia, where my career started.
Wow.
So the album, finished right where my career had started.
You gon' see that my mama wanted you, but you belong to me. And you don't understand the sacrifice that took from me. Like pulling up on Sunday nights just to tell you I apologize and mama, you was right.
What would Denise make of all this?
What would she'd laugh, she'd cry, she'd smoke a joint, she'd say that's my baby. And I'm not gonna do Motherless tonight. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I ain't got it in me to cry again. But man, what I wouldn't give her to hear her say that's my baby.
We ain't gonna let the devil coerce us. The jewel runners, the product of many cruel summers. And the description was fitting, they say it too. Slap chick, peas out the cheek until you true hunters. Left the scene, the Hellcat scream, cause we don't do hunters. But we do Benny hunters, taking your baby mama. She hostage me in the when she kisses to pay me homage.
There's a lot of important names on the record.
Yeah.
Alonzo Herndon,
Alonzo
Herman
Herndon.
Russell,
Yes, Herman Russell.
John Henrik Clark, Jose Williams.
Absolutely.
We are, I promise you, because I know you've said to people, go out, do the research.
Yes.
Why did you want to shout out those
Hosea
people?
Williams was a city council person when I was a kid in elementary school. He was the first person that came to my school in 1987 and let us know about the kingdom of Cush, about the kingdom that was called Egypt, that was filled with black people, the pyramids that were from the Sudan up, He let us know that we should be proud to be Africans. He also was a lieutenant of Dr. King and fiercely fought on the behalf of black people in the South globally for civil rights. And beyond that, he was a hell of a businessman locally. He was someone my grandfather looked up to and I could look up to. When I talk about John Henry Clark, a Pan-Africanist professor, and let me know that I was connected to a larger body of people. I wasn't just a result of a bunch of people that got stolen from Africa, dropped in the United States, and were forgotten. That I belonged to West Africa. I belonged to the continent of Africa. I belonged to Brazil, which was one of the, outside of Africa, where the largest amount of African DNA is, because the slave and the Portuguese, what they did there with the slave trade, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Haiti. He made me understand that being proud, just like Arturo Schomburg, of being black is a badge of honor. Because being black didn't make you different, didn't make you special, it made you fully human being.
Communication coming in.
Whoa.
Too much that I can't communicate with all of them.
Preach.
I do wish I had scientists or engineer friends.
Let's talk about collaborations, because
Yes.
in 2023, you got a track with André 3000
Yeah.
and Future, and that's
Yeah.
no mean feat.
Yeah, I got a cheat code too. I'm in the Dungeon family. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But even still, to get André on a track and a Future as well. But what was how did you feel? How did that track come together?
It came together like Dre is a friend, mentor, brother to me, and he has been there the whole Run the Jewels run, cheering us on. Big actually jumped on a record on Run the Jewels 1. When I say Big, I mean Big Boy. Outkast is one of the greatest rap groups ever. That's just what it is. What Dre does stylistically and poetry-wise is amazing. What Big Boy does with patterns, and I wish I could rap in the patterns that Big raps in. So for me, having their approval really matters to me. So I asked Dre to come through with me and No ID and just listen to the album and see what he thought. And after he listened, he said, "Would you mind if I brought you some stuff tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Not at all. Come hang out." Dre let me sit with the record. And we were saying that, we needed another voice. It didn't just need to be just a rap track, so we went and got Future. And man, Erin Allen Kane sang her heart out on it. And I rolled around just smoking weed, enjoying myself for a few months. And then I'm like, you got to finish this fucking record. So I got in the booth, and when my first line in the pattern came out, I knew I had it.
If you felt something tonight, put your hands in there. If you felt something, if you didn't, you don't have to lie. But if you felt something, I want to say thank you.
Andy Young, who's the former U.S. ambassador in Mayor of Atlanta, says God's serendipity is God's way of remaining anonymous. And I really feel like God's hand moved over the last 3 years in the making and the rolling out of this album, because people are genuinely connected to it, and that means the world to me. Ray Murray, who was 1/3 of Organized Noise, of course, the guys who started the Dungeon Family. Ray Murray gave me and Cuz a precedent. He said it has to be as cohesive as The Chronic, and it has to be distinctly Southern.
Yes.
And I know for a fact we achieved it.
Absolutely.
I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you.
What's the best compliment you could be paid for this record?
That it moved you, that it pierced your heart, that it touched you, that you could relate to it, that it got past the vanity of what we look like or who we perceive ourselves as, and it reaches a deeper level to our soul, that it somehow connects you with a parent you may be disenfranchised from, that it somehow makes you remember a hard decision you had to make, like having an abortion as a teenager, with me and the young lady, that your humanity recognizes the prisoner because of 2 days, that high and holy is something you smoke marijuana and feel closer to God to, and not shame-filled. I just want you to connect, and I want to pierce your heart with art. And if that happens, then mission accomplished.
And final question I ask everyone: why do you make music?
I don't know what else to do. I don't know how to do anything else. I don't know what else I'd be good for.
I mean, I think the politics, the anything, I think there's a million things to be good for, but I'm glad you stick with the music because it continues to be incredible. Michael is clearly one of the albums of the year. The honesty, the vulnerability,
Thank you.
The spirituality in it, the performance, everything. Thank you so much for coming to London. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much. Love and respect.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.